Good morning, everybody, and welcome to week 6. Hard to believe, week 6. Yeah, I hope that everyone's doing well and enjoying the first few days of fall and all the pumpkin spice, everything that is out in the world right now. Okay, so this week, your primary focus is on finishing your essay. If you submitted a rough draft earlier in the week last week, then you probably already have feedback. If you're waiting for the feedback, just remember that as soon as you see that as complete in Canvas, then go into the grades and look for your writing number 2 rough draft. You'll see comments from me there. And then I have put a lot of feedback on your rough draft. If you have questions about the feedback that you see, and if you just want to talk about it, then please schedule a conference with me this week. If you go into the Calendly link or schedule a conference with me right here, super easy. I added a bunch of slots this week to conference and meet with you about the essay. Don't be put off or intimidated by the word conference. Really, it's just a meeting to talk about your writing. If you are confused about where you're going or confused about any of the feedback, or if you just kind of need to talk through where you want to go in your essay and with your thesis or with what you're talking about, please don't hesitate. All you have to do is super easy. Click this. It'll open up into a calendar. Choose the day and time. It'll even send you a reminder link. Super easy to schedule a meeting with me. So please feel free to do that. The content of the week really is just centered on the writing at this point. There's nothing new to learn as it was last week. A lot of students are asking about introductions and conclusions, and you know what? I don't really teach those until last. And the reason is because I don't want you to get hung up on how you're going to start your essay, right? For me, in my mind, how are you going to know how to start your essay if you haven't written your essay yet? Like, how do you know how you're going to start something that doesn't even exist yet? So it's better in my mind, excuse me, to go ahead and write your draft, get a good sense of where your draft is going and the tone you're writing and kind of the evidence you're including and just kind of your overall momentum of your essay. And then you can go back and write the introduction. And then you can also then write the conclusion. So this page kind of gives you some tips about intros and conclusions, and especially it might move some of you away from kind of that formulaic introduction of start with a hook, transition, and then end in your thesis. You can write it that way, but this page really does kind of give you other options for writing that introduction paragraph, and to kind of think now as an introduction as a tool that you can use to help your reader understand where you're headed in the essay. So introductions don't necessarily have to be as bland as they once were. The same with the conclusions. This page here, using evidence, for sure visit this page. There's just so many resources that I put in here about how to introduce evidence, how to make sure that you're giving your evidence credibility. And we'll be talking more about that in this next unit also. But just again, kind of some reminders about how to use evidence. And then some basic skills, revising and proofreading. I did add a page here about that 3-point thesis help. I noticed that quite a few of the rough drafts still relied on that 3-point thesis. And again, in English 230, we're trying to move away from that. If you're really struggling with that, even after the draft, schedule a meeting. Let's talk about it, right? I want to make sure that you're feeling good about your thesis statement and kind of how it's coming along. But this page has some additional resources for you about the 3-point thesis and information about the conferencing too. So by the end of the week, you have, it's due on, Friday, but you have until Sunday, is to get your writing number 2 assignment in and completed. And remember a couple of things, right? The writing number 2 assignment and the reflection, they go hand in hand. I'm not going to read one without the other because that's part of this ungrading, right? That's part of having a grade or a class where there are no points. It's all about kind of your evaluation of your learning and your growth and what you learned and what you're taking away from the unit and what you're going to be using in the next unit and those kinds of things. So the reflection is really key. Please make sure that I have editing access, right? That's crucial Again, in Google Docs, up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little blue share button. So when you share the link on Google Docs, you're going to click on that, and then you're going to choose uh, anyone with the link, and then you're going to select can edit. Or it might say anyone with the link can be an editor, right? You don't want it to say restricted, and you don't want it to say just view, because if it's just view, I can see things, but I can't give you any feedback at all, and that is kind of goes against the whole purpose. So anyone with the link can edit. I promise you, I am not going to delete any of your writing. I am not going to deliver, an essay that is just totally blank back to you. I'm not going to do any of that. I just want to put feedback on your essays. So the access is really important. Okay, all right. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Please schedule a conference with me if you want to talk about your draft for any reason. And last but not least is Homegoing. This is the book that we are going to be starting next week. So they still have copies in the LMC bookstore as far as I know. You can find it online. You can find it at used bookstores. The book's been around for a long time. I'm super excited to start this book. I love, love, love this book with my whole heart. I hope that you enjoy it. Students in the past have also really enjoyed it too. But make sure you have a copy. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get started next week. And we will start reading the book next week. Okay, any questions? Let me know. I hope you have a great week and happy writing. Okay.